Hi, welcome to Magpie Moonchild. My name is Kayleigh. This is a reading for Virgo. There is no date on it. It is literally just what do you need to know reading. Any info you need to know about the channel or the cards or anything like that is all down below on the description. Oh, my candle's just snuffed out. So if you see some smoke going across the screen, that's what it is. Snuffed out. It could be the end of something. The smoke's amazing. So that last little as it's gone. Bizarre. I love the smell of candle smoke when it's just been snuffed out. It smells delicious, which is wrong, but whatever. Anyway, what does Virgo need to know for their highest good at the moment? So it's what you need to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear. Tarot is a wonderful tool for telling us what we need to hear. Ooh. Judgment. Candle snuffed out. Time of reckoning for something. The end of something. It's time to either close a cycle or start learning your lesson all over again. What lesson are you needing to learn at the moment? Let's have a look. What else does Virgo need to know for their highest good today? Page of Pentacles. The potential for something. Something being just out of reach at the moment. Feeling a little lost in the woods. If you look, the Judgment has a gateway, a portal. There's two choices. Which one do you follow? You're feeling a bit lost and bewildered, don't know quite which way to go at the moment. Okay. Can I get another card, Virgo? There we go. The Tower. So this is a time for you to choose. Do you go with what life's giving you? Or, because it seems like, yeah, strengths come out with shadow work. Okay. So what I'm getting at the moment is that something in your life, you need to make a choice. It is time. Apparently the universe thinks that you're not learning your lesson, Virgo. Virgo? It's Libra. It's supposed to be Libra. Maybe it's Virgo. You're not learning your lesson. Whatever it is, you're not learning the lesson. You keep going round and round and round in circles. You feel like you can't catch a break. It is literally feeling like you can't catch a break. Every time you try so hard at this, whatever it is you're thinking of when you come on here, whatever it is you are thinking about, you just, or whoever you're thinking about, you just keep going round in circles. And this is literally, you have a choice to make. You literally feel like whatever it is you're chasing is just out of reach. Maybe that's because you're not supposed to get that. You're supposed to be on a different path. And the universe keeps trying to tell you, you're not supposed to be doing that. You're not getting that. You're not learning the lesson. You're not supposed to be going in this direction. You're supposed to be going in a different direction. You keep going through this gate. You're supposed to go through this one. I know it looks less appealing and less easy and harder to get through, because this is like, just keep following that path. You're supposed to be in this one, but you keep going through the other one. If you look, the lower path, the higher path. You're being guided. You're being guided to take a different path. You may not even see that it's a different path right now, but you have a choice. The Tower card is the universe resetting your path, putting you on the other path that you're actually supposed to be on. Now you have two options when the Tower card comes up. You can either, there's always two people jumping out, and there's one that's going crashing, screaming, trying their best to fight or fly, and then there's the other one that just goes with it calmly, just lets what be, it will be. One knows that they're just going to land in the water and that they will probably survive this. You will survive it. There's nothing, it's not literally going to blast you out of a tower. It's just that this is the universe resetting everything, taking away. The tower is destroyed because it's built upon false foundations. Whatever has been building up, it was not meant to be. It was not meant to be there. And the universe is resetting So you are on the correct path, building the right foundation for where you are supposed to be for your highest good. And this is what the Tower is all about. Everybody fears the Tower, but all it's doing is removing what doesn't serve you any longer. You've been following that for too long. Shadow work is to do with working on your subconscious, the darker side, the ego, what the ego tells you. It's almost like the aspects of the Devil card. What are you clinging on to that doesn't serve you? You keep trying to hold on to something that just isn't right. It could be a relationship that you just keep holding out hope that they're going to come back. You're not supposed to be with that person. It could be a job that you keep chasing. And life just keeps telling you that, no, you're not supposed to be there. And it's not necessarily that you're on the wrong career path. It's just maybe it's not the role, the correct role for you. Or you keep hoping for a job in a certain place. But if you actually got that job, you would not be happy in that place. You need to look for a similar role somewhere else. It's slightly different. But if you just accept that, it's like being given two choices. And you think you can either take, it could literally be like you have a donut or a bagel and you have a choice. And you choose the donut because it's sweet and it's everything you want and you want that deliciousness and it's lovely. But you know that at some point it's going to come back and haunt you that you didn't choose the bagel. It could be that somebody says, oh, I had the bagel and oh my God, it's the best thing I've ever tasted. But because it wasn't sweet and it wasn't as appealing at the time, you went for the donut. Whereas if you'd had the bagel, you'd have had this delicious, multi-layered sensation that was just the best thing you've ever had in your mouth. But because you thought that what you wanted and what was best for you was the donut, you went with that because it's a quick, easy fix and it's the easiest way. The right path is not always the easiest path travelled. And shadow work just is like tuning in on, why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep repeating myself? Why do I keep... It's when you get to that point in your life where you think, why is nothing going right? Why is nothing going right? Why is it every time I'm with this person, they cheat on me or they text somebody else or they just can't give this up or I'm never more important than anything else? It could be because you're not with the right person. Or it could be, why do I keep getting turned down for that promotion? Why do I keep turning down for that promotion? It could be because you're not supposed to be in this career. You're supposed to be following your dream to be like a nurse and that path has always been close to you because that would require you taking less money or having a smaller income. And at the time you are choosing to have a more comfortable life. It's easier to be with someone than to be on my own. It's easier to be in this job and not have to worry about paying my bills and making ends meet rather than having a career that fulfills you emotionally and spiritually. And it's, why do I keep clinging to this? It's fear. It's learning what your fear is that stops you from taking the leap onto the path that you are supposed to be on. And basically the strength card has come out to remind you that you do have the strength. You do have the strength to take the lesser income. And yes, it might mean that you have less takeaways. It might mean that you have to eat beans and jacket potatoes for like weeks on end. But it doesn't matter because that's just a meal that fills you up. This job fills up your soul. This career fills up your soul. And that is, the strength will come within because passion will override everything else. Because it's important that we nourish our soul, not just our stomachs. That sounds really... But it is. It doesn't matter. If you live in a smaller house, it doesn't matter. You have a roof over your head. If you have a cheaper sofa than the £3,000 sofa you want, if you buy £1,000 sofa instead of a £3,000 sofa, you can still sit your ass on it. It still does the job. You can still sit on it and watch telly. You can still... Doesn't matter if that telly is a 30-inch telly or a 60-inch telly that's an OLED or whatever it is, 4K telly, it doesn't matter. You're still going to watch the same fucking program. You just have to realize what it is. Why are you clinging to materialistic beliefs in some respects that you need X amount of money to be happy? You might not need X amount of money to be happy. not being funny, if you're not eating as much food, if not eating as much food, what am I looking for? What's the wine looking for? It's the luxuries. If you can give up the luxuries, you can have the luxury of having the career you want. You just have to have the strength to give up the excess and the unnecessary baggage that you carry with you, that you perceive that you need. You don't need another person to define you. You don't need to have a big balance to define success in your career. You don't have, or success in life, full stop. You do not need these attainments that we think we need to make your soul happy and to make yourself happy. You just need to have the strength to go out there and debunk what society has us believe we need to be happy. Because as soon as you shirk off the expectations of society, that's when you find happiness. And maybe that's what you need to hear, Virgo. You need to just ignore what society you perceive society needs, because that is always going to be out of reach. No one is ever going to attain societal perfection because it doesn't exist. You cannot attain something that does not exist. And it's also your adaptation, your perception of what that is anyway. Let's have a look. Is there anything else that Virgo needs to know? Page of Swords. You need to review your beliefs, your perception. Do a bit of research. This is also research. There's something I'm going to come back to in a minute. But if you do your research, find out what is the least I need. Just do the sums, do the working out, do the calculations, do the basics. How much do I need to live comfortably enough to do this? I'm not saying put yourself in absolute abject poverty. I'm just saying there are people, even in my life, that when they say they're broke, they can still pull £1,000 out of their arse if they need to. That's complete white privilege there, and I appreciate that. But you are in that privileged position to say, do you know what? Fuck it, let's have a takeaway, or fuck it, let's go to McDonald's for tea. I can't bother to cook. That's excess. You do not need to go to McDonald's to feed yourself because you can't be bothered to cook. You can literally go to the thing and get, even if it's a 15p packet of noodles, crappy noodles as we call them in our house, you can still feed yourself. You do not have to go to McDonald's. You do not have to go to Tesco and spend £100 on a weekly shop and then go 3 days later and spend another £100. I appreciate that not everyone is in this position, but that is not poor. That is not broke. You can still cut back from that point to have the opportunity. If you research what the minimum is you need to live on, give yourself a sensible buffer, obviously, because there are things that crop up that you need to cover. But if you go back to the basics and work out what it actually is, if you pare back to what you need, you will see that what the path your dream path is there to take. This could also be looking at taking the emotion out of the situation you are in, taking the fear out, and focusing in. If you look, she's focusing in on what it is you fundamentally want in this situation. If it's a relationship, what is the minimum you would accept from a partner in your life? What is the minimum you would accept from, because they have to be your partner. They cannot just be your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband. That's just titles. It's how they are fundamentally with you, how you interact with each other. What is the minimum you are willing to accept? Honesty and truth is clearly going to be a part of that because we have the swords, and that is just factual. With a career, what is the minimum that you are willing to accept, to compromise, to follow your dream path? And then have the strength to cut the shit out of your life and follow that path. It is fundamentally just cutting out the crap. Also, the Page of Swords is a stalky, spying energy. Stop looking at other people's social media and comparing yourself and your life to them. They're not on your journey, you're not on theirs. You might be currently on the same path, but at some point you're going to deviate and have different endpoints. You've got to stop comparing yourself and your life to other people. Focus on your own goals, focus on your own happiness, focus on your own journey. Yes, be there if they need help picking up, cheer them on, be there for them in the support role. You do not have to make your life mirror theirs. You're on your own path. It is literally just cutting out the crap. 6 of Wands. You will be successful when you follow that path. It will bring you balance. It will bring you peace. Everything will come into alignment as soon as you follow the path. If you do not choose to follow this path, it could end up that the path opens up for you anyway. The universe will make it happen. Mainly because whether you like it or not, you can either go willingly or it will force you to do it it could be a painful way, in a spiritually, emotionally painful way. It's going to happen regardless. It could be that you're made redundant from the job you're currently in and you have to look for a job anyway. It could be that your partner leaves you anyway because they're not happy, just like you're not happy. At some point, something's got to give, and somebody will walk away from that relationship because it's not the right relationship for you to be in. But once you do and you follow the correct path, everything will come into alignment and everything will come up roses. You will leave the desert and come into abundance. And you will meet your mirror. You will meet the person that naturally mirrors you. The career that balances you, that makes you happy, that fills you up, that brings light into you. I'm going to take a card from the Universe Has Your Back deck for the message that you're supposed to hear for this. What are they supposed to hear for this message? What are they supposed to hear for this message? This could be for a Virgo, Libra, Cusper, and I think I'm going to put it up as a video for them as a Libra, Virgo, because I've said both signs. This is clearly somebody that's in either of those signs, but probably on the cusp that needs to hear this. What is the card that they need to hear? The presence of love will always cast out fear. So you have to love yourself enough to trust that the universe loves you enough to cast out the fear of following the path. You have to relinquish fear from your life, banish it from your life to be successful. And if this is a love reading, this is a relationship that you're not completely happy in, it could be that you're not unhappy, but you're not happy, you're a bit meh about it. Now is the time to have the strength to walk away and love yourself. Be on your own for a while. Literally, just focus on you for a while, and naturally they will come to you. Have the strength to be alone, and you will find the person you're supposed to be with. The love of yourself will always lead you on a path, and you will always be protected by it. You will always be protected by love, whether it's universal love or the love of yourself, which is one and the same. It's beautiful. It's time to move on. If you've been wondering one way or the other, it is time to move on. And look, you can either leave peacefully or eventually it's gonna, if you choose to leave a relationship because you're not happy and you're leaving for your higher good, there is no resentment there. If you're in a relationship where you're mad, you can grow to resent each other, and then you leave arguing and sniping at each other. If you can leave each other from love, from a place of love, like I love you and I'm leaving now before I start resenting you and it gets toxic and it gets horrible and it gets argumentative and it gets bitter. When it gets to that point, they're probably going to leave anyway, and you've not prepared yourself in any way to leave. And all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, this is over and I've got to deal with this. I'm not saying you should plan your exit, but maybe you should plan your exit, work out what it is you need to be okay on your own, and then work out a way to make that happen, manifest that change for yourself. It's just having the strength and resilience and focus and belief and trusting that you can indeed succeed in where it is you want to go, the path that you want. Path where it is that you want to go. You probably can't see it, but there's like a little mountain at the top there. And the mountain is over that doorway that's a bit obscured at the moment. You just need to trust that you should take the path that is less travelled. The road less travelled is always more beautiful. Anyway, I hope that's told you what it is you need to hear for this reading. It's just having belief and faith in yourself that you are worth more than what you are currently accepting in your life. And if you don't take it, then the universe is going to tell you that it's going to make you on that path to where you are destined for true happiness. Either way, you're going to get there. It's just whether you take the long, painful route or the hard, fast, rip the band-aid off method journey. Page of Cups, walking the portal to your dream. Having the strength to walk through and follow that dream. You may think it's naive to think, yeah, I could do it. You may think I'm being like, who is she anyway to tell me? But this is what you need to hear, so it's not me directly telling you. 10 of Pentacles, ultimate comfort, happiness, joy, abundance. It will lead you to where you're supposed to be. And you are divinely protected on this journey. Things will balance. You have the power to balance what you need to what you want. Alchemy, making the magic happen. You can make anything happen. You just have to believe, have faith, and have strength to do that. Anyway, and as you're a Virgo or a Libra, you will have that practicality within you that needs to plan how you're going to do it anyway to make yourself feel comfortable with doing it, to have that balance. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope that's told you what you need to hear. I will see you again soon. Thanks so much for watching. Namaste.